Happy Friday. Come on in here. It's good to have you. Nice. It's Friday as I record this, but it was Friday a week ago that I'm recording this, but it's a happy Friday. It's a good time to think about what you've done this past week and think about what you're going to do this weekend and what you're going to get on next week. And today, it's knowing your why, but probably more importantly, the why not in your life. You spend a lot of time on the why. It's a power driver behind everything you're going to do. Some people get there too fast. It's later in the process than you think. But the why not, I think, is really important. In fact, it's a delimiter that we can use all the time just to protect ourselves from what we shouldn't be doing. Today's show, that's it. It is a daily boost from motivationtomove.com, the positive boost you need every single day. It's me. It's the nearly, well, that's, you know the thing. Scott. Founder, Chief Motivating Officer here at motivationtomove.com. Yep, that's my JOB. My JOB is to be the guy that fires you up in whatever way possible. And we go along for a ride together. You and I are, somebody chatting with me the other day. I was on a Zoom call with them. And they said, you know, Scott, it's kind of like a soap opera. It's like a soap opera that's good for you. It's like I tune in, I figure out, I hear what's going on in your life and other people's lives, and I hear what works and what doesn't work. And I always pick up something. It's like a soap opera that's good for me. There are even cliffhangers sometimes. That's what it is. So it's good to have you. The reality is this. Life begins when you move, then it gets in the way. That's it. Motivation, we can inspire that, but then as soon as something happens, the motivation goes out the window. How do we get it back? It typically comes down to what we're talking about today, the why and the why not. I'll continue that story here in a second. In the meantime, it's Friday, so we ask the question. This is so important. If you're not doing this, you're losing out. And listen, I get it. I have sat in conferences. I've listened to a million podcasts. Yeah, I don't have time to do the homework assignment. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take time to pay attention. That's fine. The day you do, your life changes. How do I know that? Not because of me, because I know you've done it before. One day you finally bought in, you finally did it. And when you did, when you said, okay, fine, great, I'll go with it. When you do, things change. So ask the question, how do I want to feel? You're directing it directly at your subconscious mind. Now, your conscious mind, it can only do one thing at a time. It can't multitask. It can do about 40 things a second. It can move fast. But when you think about all the things you're doing right now, there's a lot going on here, right? Your subconscious mind moves at about 11 million items per second. So doesn't it make sense that I would ask a question and say, hey, subconscious mind, are you listening to me? Boss of me, pay attention to me. Yep, I'm listening, boss. How do I want to feel? And answer the question. And if you don't, guess what? Your subconscious mind is going to give you an answer. It's going to say, well, you want to feel great, prosperous, upbeat, excited, fun. So get out of your grumpy mood and do it now. No, I'm the boss of me. I don't have to listen to me. Tell you what, if you're the boss of you and you don't listen to anybody else because you're the boss of you, and you're the boss of you, and you don't listen to you, you're in a world of hurt, right? Got to listen to somebody. Do your homework. Ask, how do I want to feel? All right. Your why and your why not. I talk to a lot of people of all kinds. A lot of my clients are entrepreneurs. Most of them are entrepreneurs. Well, probably half are entrepreneurs, half are corporate people transitioning from corporate to consulting, somewhere in the middle. They've been at it 20, 25 years, something like that. And a lot of women. And the women, many have, how do I say this? They've kicked their man out. Okay. Happens. A lot of men should be kicked out. I get it. I'm one of them. I understand. But if you ask a woman what she wants after she's kicked the man out, she'll say, well, I'll tell you what I don't want. Her not list. It's kind of a naughty list, too, when you think about it. It's a not list. And the not list is really cool. Say you have a bunch of things that you want to do. Say you have a definition of your life that you want to do. And say you have 5 things on that must qualify, that are super duper important to you, that you will only proceed on any goal, any process, if these things are met. Those are your rules. That's your not list. Some people have I'll do it if these exist. I think that's pretty cool. But I find the not list sometimes works the best. The why not is the bigger power. So getting what you want, 2 things happen. Is easier than you can imagine. It's harder than you ever thought. That's all there is to it. You're going from here to there. Who you are today can't possibly predict what's going to happen tomorrow. I have said this forever. Science backs me up now. I should have been a scientist because I just look around, observational motivation. I figured out. Here's the thing. Whatever super duper incredible goal you want to go for today, you can't believe you're going to do it. Even if you say you do, you can't really because you haven't done it yet. Who you are today can't see what your future is going to be. 5 years from now, you look back and say, yeah, it was easy. Sure, I could do it. Look what I did. Easier to imagine than it is to do. Exciting and scary at the same time. You ever notice how being excited and being scary are so close to being the same thing? Have you ever heard somebody scream with excitement and thought they were scared? How about somebody with a terrifying scream? Well, I thought they were happy. Duh. Just saying. Looking back on whatever you've done, you'll be glad you did it. And you will wonder if you ever will do it again. Years ago, I was in the TV business producing infomercials and documentaries and things like that. I talked to Ann Byler. Ann Byler is the owner of Auntie Anne's Pretzels. At least she used to be. And I was in her home, and she didn't make me pretzels. She made me cookies, which was odd. And in the interview process, I was the producer doing the interview, the on-camera guy. And I said, would you do it again? She goes, oh, if I knew what I know now? No way. But I didn't know. She just knew what she wanted to do. She had her why. She went after it. You may not understand it as you go into it, but you'll be glad you did. That's why the why is so important. And you must know your why because you don't know what's coming. You don't know what's going to be. And that's the driver that will sustain you. That's the power. And in day-to-day life, you have to know your why. Not somebody else's. My wife the other day, I was doing something and I was busily going about my week getting stuff done. All kinds of crazy stuff, just all over the place. And I said, I'm just going to do what I want to do right now. And she goes, well, you always do. That was a little bit of attitude coming out of the back bedroom. I said, well, you do too. And she goes, what? Always do. She goes, I didn't say that. Okay. Pay attention to your why. It's the most important. People aren't thinking about you. Even your wife who loves you is not thinking about you. Don't pay attention to anybody else's why unless you are ready to step in and help them. Get up in the morning and think about your why. You must own your why, understand your why, live your why every single day. Chatted with a gentleman yesterday about his why, and he's having trouble keeping up with his goals. I'll call him Jake, because that's half his name. Lost a lot of weight. Having trouble keeping the weight off. Having trouble finding the why to do it. And the why was all about, taking the weight off, going back to the gym, being strong because of all that stuff. And I said, the problem is you've lost 100 pounds already. You've gained a little bit of it back. You don't have the why of losing 100 pounds anymore. You have the why of keeping it off. That's hard to do. You have to have a stronger why. You got to know it. A lot of people don't know their why, or they do. They do it for other reasons. Sometimes you might want to put, one thing that you want to go, you kind of put it on hold. We had a call like this yesterday. When the why doesn't jive with what you want to do, have you ever had this happen before? And this is where the why and the why not comes into play. I got to stay saying, I'm better than that. I apologize for that. I'm thinking. An opportunity comes up that is good for you, that you should take, you're thinking you should take, and if I do this, it'll get me what I want then. Is that true? If your why is so strong for what you want to accomplish at the other end of this path you're on, and something pops up and you say, I'm going to trade off a little bit to go get it, does that work out for you? In my experience, not usually. Now, I do believe opportunity bumps into you. I believe you find it some, so it's hard to filter, if you will. But I believe that if you strongly know your why and you want to go to a certain place, you got to stick to your guns. And that's where the why not comes into play. Not the why not. No, it's why not. It's a not. Why not? No. Not. It means that when the opportunity that may get you where you want to go takes you off path for 2 years, 3 years, may or may not deliver, you've lost your path. You've lost your way. Your why wasn't strong enough to support your path. You took the not instead. So you have to have a strong not. String not. However you want to say it. That makes sense. It's hard to do. So the what is always first. Just if you haven't thought this thing through, the what comes first. In other words, something pops in your mind. Whoa, that's interesting. Something gets your attention. I need to do this. then it becomes important. You say, well, why do you want to do it? And if you have a really good reason, you'll go do it. Sometimes something pops into your head. And I have learned this with experience. This took me a long time to get to, and I have to do it every single day. So much opportunity pops in my way. If it doesn't fit exactly what I want to do, the very quick answer that anybody's going to get is no. You know how long it took me to write a text message of 2 words, or 2 letters? You want to do this? No. It's weird, but it's on the not list, meaning it doesn't move me closer to my why. It probably moves you closer to yours, not mine. So understand your strong why. So when you do get a hold of something, you want to go after it, you know you're supported and you're going to drive until you get what you want, no matter how long it takes. But also, the more you can see your nots, the more you can focus on your whys. It's fun to play with words, but sometimes when you play with the words, it's a little confusing, but at the end of the day, you get what I mean, right? I hope, maybe. Hey, do me a favor, get the Scott Logic email I send out. This same show today is on the Scott Logic email. I can guarantee you're going to read 1 sentence and get the whole podcast in 1 sentence. Just like that. You can listen later between the lines, and you can see how I bring it all together. Go to motivationtomove.com and get that. Facebook, dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook. And visit me on YouTube. Leave a comment over there. I am responding to people on YouTube pretty regularly these days. Starting to pick up a little bit. Take some time. Working on optimization now to become the world power that I am meant to be. You're right. Well, maybe a little bit. Small power. dailyboostpodcast.com/YouTube. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday right here.